So here we are after a week of Galway and Goodwood, and myself, Ryan Sharkey, and Dean Haggerty are bringing you a new, hopefully, weekly show. Just a review of the week and a few eye catchers for the up and coming week. We also want to involve our followers with this, and we'd love to have a different follower on each week or something like that. And obviously, this chat show will be available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and just all them sort of podcast sites. So go follow all them. Right, getting into it, we'll start with the Galway Festival. So, Dean, let's just start with the eye catchers. Probably the first eye catcher for me would be Princess Zoe. You know, she won twice and she won both of them very comfortable, and I think she can win again. She won before that, before Galway, like, and then obviously won twice with Galway. You know, she's German bred and she's a good horse.
Yeah, she was really impressive. Like on both starts, I know she had to dig a wee bit deeper for the second one, but
Yeah,
at the end of the day, like your eye was really drawn there. Like she won well, so she did.
and
Um,
my second eye catcher is one that she actually bet in her first race. It's obviously Great White Shark. You know, ran cracker over the hurdles with Paul Townend on board. Was unlucky on the flat. She lost by 5 or 6 lengths going around that bend. Went too wide, and I think she's going to have a great year this year over the hurdles, and hopefully we'll see her at Cheltenham as well.
she definitely loves it around Galway. Like she didn't disgrace herself on either of the run, as you say. Like she lost a wee bit of ground, but she finished a credible. She think she was only beat by just over a length or more. Like so, it was a tight bunch finish. But yeah, she definitely ran a great race at Galway. My eye catcher for the week was the debutante Exiers for Noel Mead. Chris Hayes rode it on Saturday. I think it was only beat ahead in the end up. Now, like that race will definitely work out well. You have the two Coolmore ones, one from Aidan O'Brien, one from Donica, first and second, and then Noel's horseback in third. So that I could say that horse has definitely got a very very bright future. Um, and I'll be keeping a close eye on it next time out, definitely.
Yeah, and another one that actually caught my eye was James McCauley's horse, Alabaster. Ran twice, finished behind Dennis Hogan, obviously, in his last race, and then ran another cracker again on the last day, I think it was, came fourth then. So I think he's one to definitely keep an eye on the turf. He's usually going around Dundalk, but he looks a far better horse on the turf.
Yeah, he was impressive as well. Like as you say, for Dennis beat him on his last ride, but like he had the 1-2. So,
Yeah.
No, he's definitely a horse to be keeping an eye on as well. I thought the most disappointing horse for me at Galway is a horse that I've been following, for a long time. Is a Big Bad and Beautiful. She made the running on Sunday yesterday in the second last race. Now, when that horse won its bumper, like I thought to myself, yeah, Gordon Elliott's got another superstar here. This horse is going to turn out to be a real superstar. It's been slightly disappointing. She skipped the Cheltenham Festival, so I don't know if something was amiss there or if they were just going to stay at home and go for the Punchestown Festival. But she won at Roscommon, and I thought, man, she definitely could be a good mare on the flat. But I just thought you could probably draw a line through that race because there was no real pace on in the race, and maybe she probably had to go and force it. But I think there must be there be a key there somewhere, and I'm sure it'll not be long until Elliot figures it out.
And do you think Jamie Codd maybe not riding it was a big factor as well?
Declan rode her whenever she won in Roscommon, so he would have known her, and I think Declan rides a few for Gordon Elliott, so maybe he rides out up there. So he probably had a set or two on her and probably did know her. But I just thought she was a wee bit disappointing because she definitely has bags of potential.
Yeah, definitely. I remember you tipping it up there for was the Dublin Racing Festival or Cheltenham or one of them.
Dublin Racing Festival, yeah.
Yeah, and
that day now.
Yeah, and I think you might have said something about her for the bumper, but she obviously didn't go for that.
She didn't.
You said you were surprised she didn't get an entry or something.
Yeah, I'm so surprised he didn't get an entry, but something must have went amiss.
Yeah. My most disappointing had to be Peregrine Run, you know, and you could probably say Jet as well. I think it was just too much expected of Peregrine Run. You know, he looked like he was aimed for Galway because obviously he had the few runs beforehand and winning one of them quite impressively and then coming third. And just to not even finish, neither him or Jet finished the race, and I think it was just so poor that neither of them did. But Jet usually comes on and goes better later on in the season, but Peregrine Run's usually aim for Galway and just wasn't a good run at all, in my opinion, anyway. Just from to not finish the race at all, or unless something went amiss. But for me, it was my most disappointing.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Maybe you can think that something's went amiss. Maybe the ground wasn't the way they wanted it, or maybe something happened to him. I would say because it's definitely not like him. He's always thereabouts. Or just another one on Galway there before we finish. Young Gavin Ryan there had a fantastic week. For an apprentice. I think he got leading rider in the end up. It was tight between him and Shane Foley, but he's a young lad who has a massive future ahead of him, regardless of a £5 claim at the minute. He's in there with Donegal now, but like you've seen over the festival at Galway there, he had Dermot Weld using him, Adrian McGuinness using him. He had a few different trainers using him, and he was producing winners for them as well. So he is the rising star in Ireland at the minute. And we had Joey Sheridan on before doing a wee preview or we chat with us before Galway. Like he's another one that has a massive future. Some of them apprentices there at the minute, you can just tell that they are going to be the next Johnny Murtagh or Kieran Fallon or the real big jockeys in Ireland because they have what it takes. So they do.
And even last year, there like Oisin Oran, Andrew Flaherty coming through as well. Like, talent is incredible, absolutely incredible.
Oisin, he's based with Dermot Weld now, so he's got a great man, at the helm there. And Andrew Slattery, I think he gets some rides for Fozzie Stack and his father as well. And
father, yeah.
People like to use these guys because, fair enough, they have a claim of a couple of pound or whatever, but they are the best in the apprentice ranks. So them guys definitely have a massive future ahead of them.
Right, well, Dean, that pretty much wraps up Galway then for both of us then, does it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Good festival, and obviously you were up there at the course beforehand, and was it a different feeling, I suppose, when you were there?
Yeah, well, obviously, as the general manager, Mick Maloney, he was saying on the interview with Shane that we done, that normally at that time of the year there, the food lorries are coming, the alcohol's being delivered, they're putting marquees up, places booming and it's busy and it was quiet. You had a few walkers and runners around the track and they were testing out the PA systems and that, but I would say all in all it was a very strange Galway, but I think credit has to go to Galway and everything that they've done. Everything seen jockeys and that on Twitter, everything ran exceptionally well and don't think anybody had any complaints, and it's just a real shame for them and for Galway itself, but hopefully we'll be back there next year, hopefully maybe bring an episode there.
And just a big shout out there to Galway's Twitter. They were fantastic over the festival.
Yeah, they were on it, and I think that the coverage given by the media, Racing UK and RTE, fantastic coverage, from all the lads. I really think, man divides a lot of opinion, but I think Ruby Walsh is probably the best pundit there is in TV at the moment.
Yeah, RTE's pundits are incredible. Well, Ruby Walsh, Ted Walsh, and Jane Mangan, she's incredible. She's picking winners left, right, and centre.
But it's not like, I know there's a lot of stick that he's given out to another channel, or TV channel for their coverage, because sometimes all you hear is people rambling on. But I think what RTE and Racing UK have, their coverage in Ireland, I think is very, very, very good. Their pundits, like, you know, even Fran Berry, Kevin O'Ryan, there, like them, it's really great listening.
Yeah, it really is, 100%. Like,
yeah.
So we'll move on to Goodwood then.
Yeah. The eye catcher for me at Goodwood, Ryan, is Steel Bull, trained by Mick O'Callaghan. Won mighty impressive by 2.5 lengths at Nice the week before. And Colin Keane was doing the steering because he was over for Siskin anyway. And I thought he gave him an absolute peach of a ride. He got him nicely settled, covered up. And once the gap appeared, it was like a rocket. He just took off and finished strong to the line. Now, Mick owned him. Then I just seen it today and read it today that he's been bought by Rodrigo or Mr. Gonzalez, that owns Aradesa and Patrick Sarsfield. So he has an entry again on Sunday. I think it is at the Curran, the Phoenix Spain race. So the way he won that and the way he won on debut, he really could take some stopping.
I suppose my eye catcher is quite obvious. It's Stradivarius. He took pure class, really. He genuinely looked like he was bet, and whenever he got out, he really went. Frankie just a few smacks down the neck and away.
Yeah.
I know I was watching it, and there was a couple of people there, and they were like, "Oh, he's bet. There's not a hope for him." And then when he got out and went going, their jaws just dropped.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to go down as the best there ever, in my opinion. Anyway.
Like, I'm. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. Like, you know, I wouldn't be a fan of backing odds-on shots or anything like. But when you look at the price of Enable recently and Stradivarius, no harm, but that's printing money to anybody that can afford to put big money in that.
100%.
Them as they're two superstars. They're in a different league. That is
100
money.
Yeah, they're just
printing money.
They're two of the best that I've ever seen, and it'll be a long time before we see anything as good as either of them.
It really was, like, you know, I couldn't believe it. I was texting a friend of mine, and I just says, "This is printing money."
Yeah.
If you have money, you know, to lump on them things there at the prices they were, it's printing money.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Enable in a 3-horse race.
Yeah.
Come on, like 1-2, 1-49, something like that.
Yeah, and the drift on Enable was ridiculous. Everyone was back in Japan and Sovereign thinking, look, there's going to be an offset here. And they were getting back in, and Enable was starting to drift, and I was just sitting there looking, what is that? Like,
yeah.
Enable's not a bet.
I didn't think so, and I didn't have a bet in the race, like, but if anybody, I know a lot of people would have had Sovereign just for thinking he was going to get an easy lead again, and maybe different caliber of field there. So it was.
Yeah. Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
I suppose I have another eye catcher at Goodwood. A bit more of a controversial one here. Tilsit. Look, he interfered with Favour, he blocked him off, and then he obviously pushed the other one in the rail. But if he hadn't done that, I think he still would have won anyway. Because if he had ran a straight line, he would have won hands down. And at 10-1, that was madness, like that he was going off at that for starters. But I don't know. I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me, and he probably should have lost the race for obviously both of them interferences because the way are quite major. But look, if he had ran a straight line, I'd say it was the same outcome.
Yeah. It's one of them ones. It really is. It's up in the air. There's a lot of debate about it at the minute about all this carry on going on, and we'll probably touch on it in a wee while. But, you know, it is what it is. I didn't take a great opinion of the race anyway, but I just thought it was very harsh on the runner-up anyway. You know, he's lost every bit of momentum that he had.
Yeah.
Might he have won? Might he have not have won? Well, we'll never get to know. So it really, you know, it's it's not up for debate because we really couldn't tell. Like we can't tell because who's to say that he wouldn't have found more or Tilsit might not have found under pressure. But the most disappointing horse for me was English King. You know, there was a lot of hype about this boy. You know, favourite for a Derby. Yes, they'll have their excuses in the Derby about the runner got away far too far in front and all that. Yes, fair enough. That excuse will last for the Derby. But people say I was unlucky this time. He probably could have been unlucky. He definitely didn't get the good run of the race. He was being pushed along from the turn into the straight, and I just think he's been found out. And that's I honestly do think he's just been found out.
Yeah, I think he was overhyped, wasn't he? Really, like I don't even know. Like even in that derby, like when he did get going, I think Kameko would have bet him anyway. If the two of them had been 1-on-1 and just going straight at it, Kameko would have won that.
Yeah.
Out of the two of them.
Yeah.
But I just think he's far too overhyped. A bit like too darn hot. You know, he had a great 2-year-old season and then 3-year-old just sort of went under the radar of it.
Yeah, but he backed it up a wee bit towards the end of it.
Yeah, and in fairness, he did, yeah. He won a few races in France.
English King still has a chance to do that, but I'm not convinced by him. I just think he's over. I just think there was too much fuss made about him.
100%.
You know.
Well, my biggest disappointment is one that I think will come on as well, but he was going off as the favourite in that big handicap. Nahar. I thought he would have breezed up, to be honest. And even in such a big field, but he came ninth, I think. And he wasn't convincing at all, but you know, you could make an argument that it was such a big field and it just didn't suit him or whatever, but like I don't know. I think he still has a good lot of wins in him still.
Just as you touched on there, the Tilsit thing, like, you know, there's a massive debate online at the minute. You know, there's a couple of people having heated discussions on Twitter, and if anybody hasn't seen it, then definitely go and check it out because it's worth a read now. But what is your opinion, Ryan, of what do you think that the racing or you know the industry, the stewards can do better in Irish racing?
I think they'd be more strict. I know in a way, like it's hard to enforce obviously some of the rules, like you're a 60 kg man or woman sitting on a 500 kg animal, like so partly it's not the jockey's fault entirely, but it is at the same time, if you get me. Some cases you can see that like the jockey just hasn't tried there, like he's proper done it.
Yeah.
He could have just fucking changed the hand, made the horse go a different direction, like instead of pushing a horse into a rail or whatever. It's some of it's dangerous, and then there's others that is just it's not avoidable, like you know.
Yeah.
So it's a really hard subject to even call.
I think there's one thing that I think anybody listening to this or any racing fan will agree on is like horse stewards, I think, should be a whole lot harsher. Is a horse going 15, 20 lengths in front and being given that lead, that, yes, they will come back to the field eventually in some races. But in some races, then you're looking to yourself and you're saying, you give that horse that lead there, he is never being caught.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking to yourself, yes, there'll probably be an inquiry held and they'll have to answer for their actions or whatever, but given a horse that, like, prime example was Felix Desjardins at Navan the other week. You know, I think he had like a 50 length lead or something. You can't give that animal a 50 length lead. No. It was like a piece. It was like riding a piece of work. You know, I don't know, it was a qualified riders race, and there was definitely serious questions asked about a lot of horses in that race, because there was a lot of uh, people voicing their opinion on Twitter about certain trainers and whatnot. But I just think that's where they should be more strict. Like, they have to clamp down on it, because they have to be seen to be being fair in a way.
Yeah.
A fair run race. So fairness. Somebody might go 10 lengths clear. Between 5 to 10. That's probably going to come back to you, or you have a chance of getting closer to it. But if you let a horse go 50 lengths clear, especially at that caliber, it's a piece of work in my eyes.
Yeah, we've seen it last year as well with Dylan Hogan. Do you remember we did an interview with him? I think that was back in January or December, and he said that he was just told to go out in front, and I don't know what the rest of them were thinking. Like, but he did what he was told, and he ended up being 20, 30 lengths ahead of them.
Yeah.
And he said I forget what he said, but he said something like, if the horse is getting tired, just push him again and he'll go. And that's exactly what he did, and he won really comfortably. And I remember the backlash them jockeys and behind got on Twitter, all calling them terrible apprentices and everything like that. I don't know how to judge that, to be honest, but it's a difficult one.
It is a difficult one, but it's just I think the way a lot of people view it is that it's not a fair race. And it comes mainly from us, like people who back horses in the race. You're thinking, right, well, I haven't got to run for my money here. This is just a disaster. And we point the fingers and that, but the real one that caught my eye was the Felix Daisy one. You cannot give a horse of that caliber such a length lead, like, because it'll be like a piece of work for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then obviously you could make the argument about the Derby. Like they give.
Yes, that's another one.
So much of an advantage, and we're all struggling in behind. Then they thought, like, sure, we'll give him a head. Let's start, like, he's 20-1 or something, was it?
Yeah.
He's obviously not as good as my horse, whatever. Like, I think Tom Marquand was the only one that realised, hang on a second, like, I'm not catching this one.
Yeah.
And he ended up coming second on an 80-1 shot. Like,
there was plenty of talk about there's people will be able to, whoever's listening to this or whatever, like you could sit for an hour going through racing now and say, well, geez, he got an easy lead, and that one got an easy lead that time. Like, it does happen, but I just think there's something that can be done. They do get questioned over it, but it's just.
Who would you find though? The jockeys in behind or the jockey ahead? Like,
no, you would just have to. No, I don't know about finding, like, but they definitely have to be asked. No, not banned. They definitely have to be asked why they let such a good caliber of a horse go. Maybe I could turn around then and be like, well, if we try to keep up with him, we'll tail off after a mile and a half anyway.
Mm.
So we were just trying to conserve to try and have a go late, but that race was over. Like,
then you could make the argument that's the handicapper's fault. Well, if you see a low-rated horse go out in front, like, you're gonna be like, right, I'm sitting on a 90-odd rated horse here, and the one out in front's maybe 70-odd rated. Like,
yeah, it's a big. There definitely is. There's a big topic for it, and I'm sure maybe we could get some interaction with some of the followers, and maybe we could pick it up next week again. With a few different angles and of people, maybe what their views on it is.
And obviously, if any of you want to come on and just have a chat about that or anything else you really want to raise, just drop a DM on our Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and we'll happily have you on and have a wee chat about it.
Have a chat and a debate about racing. Yeah. Moving on, Ryan, to this week. It was just a couple of horses maybe that caught my eye that has entries this week. The 310 at Ayr on Wednesday. Jessie Allen, she's on off bottom weight. I thought it was damn unlucky the other day there. She came fourth, but like on the last inside the final furlong, she came with her challenge, and she met I mean, she met a wall. It was a small field, like, but she just met a wall. She couldn't go anywhere. So she definitely caught my eye. She's a course winner as well. I think she could be buying there on Wednesday again. And on Wednesday as well, Sligo 620 Balderio for the Hilltop lads. I thought he ran an absolute cracker at Galway. He's yet to break his duck over hurdles, so this looks like a good enough chance for him to do so. Whether he takes to Sligo or not, because Sligo can catch many a horse out. He'd be one worth keeping an eye on as well.
Yeah, he ran some good races last year without winning, obviously, but
Yeah,
that is one definitely to keep an eye on.
definitely. Back to Sligo then on Friday, and the 4:30. The Wooly Mullins runner Cool Colonnade ran mighty impressive behind Aiton Bob yesterday. Now, this is Wooly Mullins' only runner in the card. Well, only entry on Friday's card at Sligo. And I think if he goes there, he'll make the 500-kilometre round trip very, very worthwhile for the Mullins camp now, because he looks like he could definitely be improving on the flat.
Yeah, that's one to keep an eye on, especially Mullins. His only entry, like I said, that's certainly an eye opener.
Yeah. Tipperary on the 4:40. Going to go for trusted ally of Mick O'Callaghan's. He's entered up. Now the declarations are not are confirmed, but he ran a mighty impressive race on the opening day of Galway in the first race. He got squeezed up coming around the home bend by Bramble Brook, I think it was. I think he just lost all momentum then, and he ended up finishing fourth, I think. But he definitely could take some stopping Tipperary now, because he looked seriously unlucky at Galway. And on the 6:10, then is another horse who I fancied for Galway, but was a non-runner. I think maybe it might have been due to the ground. It's Frank Arthur. He's ended up there at Tipperary in the 6:10. So there's just a couple to keep an eye on. Basically, the Frank Arthur, because he was withdrawn from Galway when he was joint favourite for that race. Trusted ally, because he got badly hampered when it looked like he would have finished a hell of a lot closer. Cool Colonnade, because of Wooly's only entry on the card. Balderio, because he ran a cracker recently and seems to be in good form. And Jesse Allen, because again ran really, really well, but met a lot of traffic and definitely done her out of a couple of places. She could have finished a whole lot closer.
Yeah, I have a few here for this week. None of the ones you mentioned, actually. I don't even think there's any in the same races. But firstly, my first one's on Friday. It's the David Manoussier horse. Obviously, his horses are in top form. It's Gypsy Whisper in the 4:35 at Sandown. Gypsy Whisper should be winning here. Impressive last time. It's not a brilliant race here, but it's definitely one that, you know, he should be winning, and winning quite well. I really can't see any other outcome than Gypsy Whisper winning here. And for me, if I had to pick an app of the week, it'd be that 100%. Then Mere Green in the Solera Stakes on Saturday. It's one of Nick's 2-year-olds, Nick Bradley's 2-year-olds, and obviously he's one of the top owners of 2-year-olds this year.
Especially
and look,
as well.
Huh?
Especially with the fillies. You know, his flying, his 2-year-old fillies are flying. He's got the top rated and the second top rated, I think.
Top rated. And look, I think Mere Green's going to follow and get a win here too. You know, ran twice, fifth and fifth. The last one I think was in a group race as well. So look, I think that'll win, or it'll definitely place, 100% place.
Yeah.
If it gets entered. And then speaking of Nick, Cowboy Presidential is going on Sunday at Terrace. Look, don't know how that'll go, but hopefully he comes home safe and sound anyway. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he's probably been slightly. It was definitely disappointing last time out there. But you're like, I had a worry going under the race. I know that the ground was good to firm, and I just don't think he likes that kind of ground. He definitely loves soft, good,
Soft, yeah.
good to
Good
soft. So draw a line through it, and as you say, we keep our fingers crossed now and just see what the plan is going forward.
And I think it's a 6 furlong race as well, so I think it's a step down, obviously. In trip, he ran a mile at Ascot, and then 7 furlongs.
7 seems to be
what he won at. 7 furlongs seems to be bang on for him. I think 6 furlongs might just be too short.
But you could make use of them over the 6. I don't know. There's definitely it definitely could be a contender. Definitely.
Yeah, I looked at the race and it's not the best, but like
there's a few decent swords entered up.
Yeah.
So we'll just play it by ear and see closer to the time, I suppose.
I don't think it'll be favoured this time anyway. So.
No, either do I.
Right. Yeah, that's all my catchers for the week. Just the 4 of them.
Well, folks, just while we have Ryan here now and we're on the subject, we'll do a weekend an introduction to Ryan, how he got started with Racing Records, but about himself and his dreams and ambitions for the future. So Ryan, we'll start. How did you come about setting up Racing Records?
Well, look, how did it even start? It started on YouTube, I suppose, and I never intended to make much out of it. I just thought, I'd throw a few videos up on YouTube. And then I was writing a few articles then and doing a few bits and bobs here and there. And I was doing the Hall of Fame section on Dave Manuicio's website. And, it kind of all kicked off there. I said, why not? Sure, I'll just make something on Twitter now and see how that goes. And throw a few tips up there. And they started winning and following started coming with that. And sort of grew from there, didn't it?
Yeah, as you say there, Twitter has really been successful. The Facebook page is kind of slowly taken off.
Yeah.
You've got other platforms. You've got, as you says there, about the podcast section now.
Yeah.
You're up and running on Apple Podcasts,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, just all the top podcast sites were there now. So it's starting to come together now quite nicely, and hopefully it's onwards and upwards.
Yeah, I just going through the people that we've interviewed and had on podcasts and things over lockdown. We've had Nick Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
Nick has been
absolutely
flying since the resumption.
He's a top 2-year-old owner,
top 2-year-old owner. Poppy Bridgewater and Danny McMenamin.
Yeah, Poppy's after announcing that she's going over jumps this season, and Danny saddled, I think, 2 or 3 winners since.
Yeah, since the resumption.
Yeah.
We had
David Manuicio,
who sent out a treble at Sandown last week.
Yeah. And he had a second over there in France.
Yeah, that same day. We have Phil and Grace McEntee.
Yeah.
Phil's horses, I would say, I'll start seeing them running shortly. Grace, who was
flying before lockdown.
Absolutely flying. Yeah. We've had, as you say, Dylan Hogan. You've done an interview with him as well. So
we had Henry Bromhead, Donegal O'Brien.
Yeah, Henry.
We've had some top names. Aidan Kelly. Obviously, we've got a good relationship with James McCauley and the Hilltop lads as well now. So we're absolutely flying.
Yeah,
it's really started from nothing and grown so much.
Yeah, and the main aim for Racing Records. What would you say the main aim for Racing Records is for any of the followers out there or any new people listening in?
Look, the main aim wasn't at the start. It wasn't much. It was just for a bit of crack. But now that we've a following, we want to shed light on racing in a better angle and just get more people involved in racing and see how it's run and how the horses are looked after. Put a bit more entertainment into horse racing as well. Like, we're not just here for, oh, let's tip up this, let's tip up that. Like, it was never about that. It was always about making videos, just making a bit of a laugh more than anything, and just showing racing in a really good light. And obviously you have the ups and downs, but there's more ups than downs, really.
Yeah, like as you say there, like, and you've touched on it before on Twitter and on Facebook. Like, the main aim for Racing Records this year was to visit all tracks in Ireland and kind of make a documentary of them. Obviously, with COVID restrictions now, that's kind of not going to happen. So, do you think with the help of some of our followers and that we could, find out what people's interested in either reading about or watching videos about or something, and as I say, with the help of the followers, because at the end of the day, I think from how I came about joining you, I really enjoyed the content that you were putting up. You had great tips. Dundalk is a favourite of mine. Like, I love a Friday night at Dundalk. Like, it's a bit of crack. But, with what you're planning to do with the wee documentary, it'll open a lot of people's eyes to the tracks in Ireland that they probably don't know much about. Ireland is a very historic place. Definitely lots of historic racecourses. And I think when that documentary comes about, it will definitely open people's eyes to racing in Ireland. I'm looking forward to being part of it and helping out. So I am. But I think the followers definitely will have something that'll open their eyes to Irish racing.
Yeah, like 100%. We'd absolutely love to catch up with them along the travels, like going about and filming the documentary. Like, if there was any followers out there that want to come on and have a wee chat while we're out there filming, like, more than welcome to. Like, it'd be nice to get another angle, and obviously if you're local to a track, you could be telling us what that track means to you, and I'm sure there's some childhood stories there and everything. Like,
yeah, definitely. And we're touching on your videos. Like, you've made some astonishing videos, and only recently they've started to take a spike. Some of them on YouTube, and you started gaining some more subscribers on YouTube. That's a very hard thing to do on YouTube whenever, I suppose, you're in a racing industry, because it probably splits a lot of opinions.
You think look, we recently had a video that was recommended by YouTube, and I think we uploaded it last year, and it's sitting on about 150 views, and in the past week it's shot up to over to, like, it's on about 2,500 now at the minute in 1 week, and our subscribers went up a good bit from it. And look, if YouTube's a bit of a lottery now, like, it's very hard to breach that audience, like, compared to the likes of Twitter or whatever. Like, you could get people sharing and following and that. Like, there's no sharing really on YouTube. It's you put up the video and it's fingers crossed people will watch it, people won't watch it. Like, it's really down to who's subscribed or what. Like, your subscribers are gonna probably watch it, and that's really it. If someone comes across it, then if YouTube recommend it or something, someone will click into it and have a watch of it, and they'll drop it a like or whatever.
Yeah, like, judging off people's YouTubes, you always hear YouTubers on about it and things. They get a hell of a lot of watch time, but not a lot of, compared to subscribes. Definitely you would like to see more subscribers. Or you'd like to see more people click the subscribe button. I know, definitely kind of they boost Racing Records as well.
Yeah, well, look, it's free, and like, the more subscribers we get, the more content we can put out. Like, and obviously it's free and it's easy, just click the subscribe button. But look, I think we're 96% of our views are coming from people who aren't subscribed. So that 4%, I think we've 200 subscribers. Like 96% of our views aren't subscribed. Look, it's like I said, it's one button, one click. Like, you're not signing away your life. It's free. Like, no bills, nothing.
Yeah, and as you say, like, the more subscribers you get, it'll fill you full of confidence, I suppose, that people are enjoying the content. So it'll entice you to make more videos, get out there.
Ah, yeah, 100%. Like, and obviously, if top tracks or top trainers were saying, look, these have a big following, like, we'll let them in, like, which will help us produce better content and more enjoyable content, as well as everything, like, for obviously the viewers' benefit.
Yeah.
So look, that's it. Like,
yeah, no, that's pretty good. Like, there's not much more anybody can ask, really.
Yeah.
As you say, to produce good content, you need to be out there. Your name needs to be out there for people to stand up and say, oh yeah, we know it, we've heard of them guys, yeah, man, and have a look around the yard, or as you say, a race course, invite you in and can you help us do a wee promotion push here or something.
Yeah, go on.
Just a last question, Ryan, I suppose, from me. What do you think racing in general could do more for its followers? There's a lot of debate out there that, racing's for the industry and all that there, but I think that, I think the followers, the racing public, there's a lot of people out there now trying to bring light into it. And what do you think that racing could possibly do slightly better for its followers? Because I know at the minute, during these restrictions, there's no owners allowed or anything, but getting aside from that, what do you think racing could do to attract more followers, or to give people that like racing a better chance?
Look, for starters, social media is a huge help. You have the likes of, we had Jamie Hills on, and his content is just brilliant. Like, it's entertaining. We need more of him, pretty much, in the racing industry.
Yeah.
You have the likes of Matt Chapman and all them on TV. They're good and all, but, like, they're so restricted to what they can say and what they can't as well.
Yeah.
The likes of Jamie there, like, he's not signed down to anyone. He can say what he wants. He's kind of voices his own opinion without getting any backlash from the company or whatever. Like,
yeah.
And it's entertaining. It's bringing more people in. Look at his robotic commentaries. There are thousands of views. Like, half of them wouldn't even be racing fans. Like, they're watching racing. Like, it's stuff like that you really want to see in racing. Like, the likes of football, there's so many pages that they're entertaining. Like, and that attracts fans too. Like,
yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, that's about all I have for you, Ryan. So thanks for giving the followers kind of an incline into yourself and how Racing Records has come about and plans for the future. I'm sure over the next couple of months, I know there'll probably be a few more videos, and hopefully we can get back out on track and kind of make
recording, man. Keep the content out.
Make a couple of recordings for you, our YouTube channel, and hopefully bring a different site to Irish racing.
100%. And look, if any followers want to come on and maybe have a chat with myself and Dean, then you're more than welcome to just drop us a DM, and you can come on and have a chat with us.